Hey fellas, so I just got back from The Batman, the latest reboot of the comic book character, which stars Robert Pattinson in the title role and is directed by Matt Reeves. This version, which details a younger, less experienced version of the Cape Crusader, Hater, depicts next day Gotham City, where nothing, not even Bruce's own legacy, is what it seems, and he must contend with foes such as the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, the Penguin, and played by Colin Farrell, as well as uneasy allies such as Catwoman, who played by Zoe Kravitz. And I gotta say, even though this may not be my favorite version of the character I've done so far, it definitely managed to beat the odds, especially everything's going on lately, and be a much better film than I think a lot of us were expecting. Yeah. I mean, it may not have needed to be 175 minutes per se, just shy of 3 hours, but I definitely didn't regret the fact that it was. Another factor that helps me let people know that I'm ASD, not EDD, like, so it's ED when they tend to spend like 90-minute comment on like a 2 hour 55-minute superhero crime epic. It's not gonna be any spoilers because I want you to go through the same emotions I did when I saw this. When you decided to go, when if you decided to go see it, yeah. We'll say this: the music, heck, by Michael Giacchino, as I expected, is one of the best parts. I actually been listening to the OST extensively before went to go see this. Man, lots of elements from previous version of the score. And much like the movie itself, it takes all the best elements from previous incarnations and usually makes them on its own. And I could definitely see the influence from David Fincher's filmography, and in particular, both Seven and Zodiac influences one immensely. Especially with some of the things that the Riddler does and his performance, especially in the case of Denouement, definitely remind me a lot of the John Doe in Seven and the Zodiac Killer in Zodiac. Won't be saying why. Once again, see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And even with everything going on like the budget doubling since began production from 100 million to 200 million, you see every bit of that money on the screen. He definitely liking how the approach to Gotham City in this version. Like, that's also one of a lot of my favorite versions of the story. Like the way the city itself is like a character. Especially like the Penguins and nightclub, uh, especially like the club inside the club, like the 44 below is gonna be important. I won't say why, but you'll know when you see it. Yeah. Acting relatively solid across the board. Definitely liking a lot of supporting cast, especially. I guess we can add both Colin Farrell as well as as the fact that Alfred is in this version is Andy Serkis. Two of the list of people who have been with DC and Marvel related productions, how they formerly played both Bullseye and Claw, respectively. Definitely, and also, like a lot of people, I was skeptical about Rob Hobb and role, but I definitely approached it with the fact like he's been trying to branch out as an actor, which I think he should. There's a reason why I looked at the Lighthouse before I went to go see this, especially, which wasn't a conventional approach, but definitely not a conventional take on the character either. I mean, both Reeves and Rob took a lot of cues from Coco Cobain in terms of performance, like how grungy and filthy a lot of these things look, like how it definitely it takes a lot of the things you would see saw in like the Nolan trilogy as well as like the 2018 Joker film, and while not quite as on the same level as those, it's still a film which I could definitely see myself talking about again in the future, especially once comes online, whenever that might be. Maybe in the next 45 days, but we'll see. Yeah. And with that being the case, they've already got at least 2 spin-offs planned for HBO Max, as well as like a sequel in early development. And even with everything going on, it's definitely an indicator that the character still commands a sizable audience, and you bet they're still going to find a way to make it work. I mean, I think I was just getting minutes from my mobile the other day, and I saw the new Batmobile and some of the characters and everything from like the Hot Wheels scale and the basic 3.5-inch figurines to collector grade models and statues. I used to have to go to special stores that could do like fun stuff from like Furlan toys, like seeing people being able to spawn on stuff. But uh, now you're just getting them right there. It's crazy, isn't it, man? I definitely say that Reeves understood his character work, and even with the takes that have been made and ones I've seen my lifetime alone, I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. That's the whole appeal of the character, that he can be transformed over many ones, like how the original one, the original comic even came out in an uncertain time, was a reflection of what's going on, and as a result, so is this movie. That's also why my favorite film, The Dark Knight, I definitely saw it when I was 16, and even as it reflects those times, it still adds to make a really compelling detective story, which happens to have Batman's protagonist. Like how it's definitely a not the most friendly film, like how, and it's definitely what I would call like a hard PG-13 in the same vein of like the Nolan trilogy, like DCU version of the character. So it's separate from the main DCEU, but it's definitely a sign that I'm very much in favor of the current throw everything in the wall and see what sticks model for DC. And and I'm not still not saying whether or not the Sigil and Justice version is made from the gun that killed his parents, but it wouldn't surprise me, especially with the reveal at the end. Near the end at least. So I've been wanting to watch this again, and like I said, I'll probably do the spoiler review whenever the streams later this year, I presume. So as I, so I'll definitely give this like a very confident 4 out of 4, and now a riff on some coming attractions. All right, so let's go with chronological order here just to make things easier of release dates. Interestingly, I got a preview for Death on the Nile, which already came out. And much like the last Poirot adaptation, and that's that Brana did a little under 5 years ago, Burning Express. It's all right. Like he's a director that is capable of doing both genre fare like that as well as prestige fare like Belfast, which I've not seen yet, but it's good. And so let's keep moving. The Lost City, a sort of spoof of the Lost City of Z or other such adventure films, with Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt, and Daniel Radcliffe. It's, it didn't look great by any means, but at the very least, I wouldn't mind watching it when it came on VOD, or Paramount Plus or whatever that ends up being. That's just, because just the same day that Kirby's coming out, it's kind of a, I don't know what to expect from that one. It could be bad, it could be funny. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Alright, moving right along, another WB production, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. My related thoughts on the second trailer, which just dropped a few days ago, though they had to temporarily yank it all offline and permanently yank the film out from certain territories because everything that's going on. But I will say, a given how I was just merely whelmed by the first trailer, I will definitely say, given we get more shots of not only Dumbledore played by Jude Law, Newt played by Eddie Redmayne, as well as Miles Mickelson and playing Grindelwald, I will definitely, I can say, better? Question mark. I mean, I I'm really do not have much to add to the discourse about the screenwriter haters or sentiments other than and like ooh yeah. But aside from that, I will admit that even though it looks interesting and that the future of any potential content and in this first, least of all like the fourth and fifth movies, do hinge on this one being a success. They're really gonna have to nail it this time. Even as someone who didn't hate the last movie, I'll admit it wasn't perfect. In fact, I've yet to see a single Wizarding World movie I disliked. I mean, hopefully, because I know that's coming the same month as both Morbius and Sonic 2. I'll keep an eye on this one, man. And yeah, I mean, if push comes to shove, maybe I'll wait for it to come out on HBO Max, depending on how I feel. You know what I mean? But I will say this: I can't at least buy Miles as a villain, given how good he was on Hannibal and was other movies he's played antagonists in, and how so stupid like Grindelwald and the other movies was Shapeshifter, which makes some sense. And of course, Kowalski is still going to be in it, like Dan Vogler. I mean, I can tell he's making good use of it. Like he's definitely emerged from being like a poor man's Jack Black, or even a poor man's Johnny Knoxville, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Queenie. Oh, again, I'll talk about this when I talk about the previous movie. I guess we'll find out soon enough. And don't worry about Catherine Waterston's character. She is still going to be in the movie because on top of everything else going on, apparently, she had maternity leave as well. So yeah, I'll just deal with that as it comes. Last but not least, Bullet Train coming in July 15th. I mean, I do not know what to think about this one. It stars Brad Pitt and is also produced by his company Appian Way. Hey, say something of a international espionage or hitman action film where it takes place in a bullet train speeding through Japan. It's a remake of a Japanese film I have not seen, but I think I might have to check out somewhere if I can find it online maybe. But yeah, once again, I could go either way. Hey, it didn't really scream must see to me. Hey, given how it's already going to be a pretty crowded month of July, given how it's going to be sandwiched in between both Shazam! Fury of the Gods as well as Thor: Love and Thunder, even outside, and one other films coming out that month. It's going to be a pretty stiff competition, like how I should admit, and since every time I mention release it's going to be subject to change, I'll admit, But once again, also, I met David Leitch, who's also directed Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, as well as being Atomic Blonde, all films I enjoy, as well as being the second year director in the John Wick series. He understands how action works on film, and I think that might be James McAvoy as a rival, spy slash assassin, but I don't really know. I guess I'll have to check out the original Japanese film this is based on first. If that is the case, I'll have to do more, look into this more. But anyway, that's all I got to say for now. Gotta think on work on finishing my Cinema Children's vlogs based on what I just found out. And Turning Red next week should be fun. And with that in mind, I will definitely see you all in Tomorrow, my look at the demo of Kirby and Forgotten Land. That'll be all for now. Take care.